Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, I will explain the lesson plan on interpersonal text. I'm Yus, name of teacher Nur Azizah, name of school SMA 7 Banjarmasin, subject English, grade 10, topic congratulating and complimenting others, chapter 2, text type, interpersonal text, skill, speaking and writing, time allocation, one time 15 minutes. Okay, first, we had a core competencies, and this was determined on its own by the government. Next, basic competence and indicators of competence achievement. Then there are two basic competence based on the government draft for the interpersonal text. Indicator of competence achievement, there are 3.2 indicators of competence achievement are to identify congratulation extended. Second, to identify the different ways of discourse from each context. The third, to apply the structure of giving congratulations. The fourth, to apply the linguistic elements of the expression giving congratulations. For 4.2, there are to create sentences giving congratulations. Second, to apply the congratulations submitted to someone. Next, there is learning objectives. So, here is learning objectives that the students' final lessons can apply in the classroom according to the basic competence and indicators of competence that teacher have met. In the end of class, first, the students will be able to express meanings in interpersonal with social context dialogues to interact with their environment that involve expression congratulation in accurate, fluent, and appropriate ways. The second, the students are able to identify social function in an expression of congratulation in accordance with the context of their use. Next, in my lesson plan, I have attitudes, values, focus. There are the first religious, the second nationalist, and the last integrity. Then, the learning materials. This is learning materials for the interpersonal text. There is concept, social function. Expression of congratulation is an expression that we use gives the congratulation utterance when she or he will succeed in doing some things. Building interpersonal relationships with teacher and classmates. Expressions compliment is an expression to appreciate or praise other people. And you can see the example like this paper. Next, principle. There is generic structure, meaning expressions of congratulation is an expression that we use give the congratulation utterance when he or she be succeed in doing something. The usage, when you congratulate someone because of their achievement or celebrating day. And I use dominant language features, phrases and grammar like simple past tense, simple present tense, and use congratulate word. For the example, this is. Next, there is procedure. Write interpersonal text about congratulation and complimenting. There is learning materials for remedial, interpersonal text about simple dialogue congratulation that are good, interesting and precise by using text structures and language elements that are appropriate to the purpose and usage context. And learning materials for enrichment also, social function, generic structure, and language features, and interpersonal text in form of congratulation and praise, both written and oral. Next, learning method. In learning method, I have first approach, scientific approach, and learning model. I use CLT, communicative language teaching. For learning media, I use InFocus LCD projector, the second video, the third laptop, and also textbook. And next, there is G learning sources. The first, I use Kementerian Pendidikan dan Kebudayaan 2017, buku siswa mata pelajaran bahasa Inggris kelas 10. The second module or learning materials. The third, internet. And the last, another relevant sources. Okay, I would like to tell you about my teaching learning activity. There is time allocation, one time 15 minutes and times 2 minutes. In the opening activity, teacher, there are first orientation, doing the opening by reciting salam and praying to start the lesson, which is religious. And there is presence of the students and prepare to process of learning interpersonal text. The second, apperception. There is connecting the learning materials or them or activities that will be done to the students' experience in the previous level, class 9th. And the third, motivation, giving the description of the benefit to learn the materials. And the last, giving references, the students telling the students about the material that will be discussed. Next, there is main activity, time 12 minutes. And of main activity, there are stimulation, problem, statement, data collection, and the last, data processing. In then main activity for stimulation, there is literature activities. There are some steps. There are viewing, observing, reading, and the last, listening. In the literature activities, students are given motivation or stimulation to focus attention on the topic by doing some ways. For the first, viewing, display relevant pictures or photos or videos. For observing, shows interpersonal text dialogue on congratulation as an example. For reading, in their own home before the teaching learning activities, the first, students are asked to read material from textbooks or other supporting books from the internet or related material. The second, interpersonal text in the form of congratulation and complimenting. And the third, students reading materials from textbooks or other supporting books, internet or material related to the context, congratulation and praise. And the last, for listening, students are asked to listen to the material given by the teacher which is related to the first, interpersonal text in form of congratulation and praise on chapter 2, page 20. And the second, create simple dialogue about congratulation and praise. Okay, next there is problem statement. And then the problem statement, there is critical thinking. The teacher gives students to identify as many questions as possible related to the video presented and will be answered. This lesson plan has 3 questions. For example, about the first, what are congratulations and praise? The second, what are the purpose of congratulations and praise? And the last, what are dominant language features of congratulation and praise? And then, and teachers want their students to be able to answer the 3 questions raised above. The first, the meaning of congratulation and praise are. The second, when to congratulate and praise are. And the third, the congratulation and praise are about grammar. Okay, next. In data collection, there is collaboration and critical thinking. For reading other sources beside textbooks, the teacher wants two students are asked to explore their knowledge by reading reference books about students' work on number of questions about the subject matter of expressions, congratulation, and praising. And for representing for activities, the teacher wants two students. Learners do the following activities. Students are asked to observe the way to pronunciation of the expression and also the response used. And the second, students are asked questions related to the context of pronunciation and how to say congratulations and praise to the teacher. And after that, students exchange information about how to pronunciation and praise. Okay, next, in data processing, there is critical thinking. Students in their groups discussing about the data. The first, how to identify structure of interpersonal text about simple congratulation and praise. The second, how to describe interpersonal text about simple congratulation and praise according to the structure. And the last, how to make simple congratulation and praise that are interesting and praises and that have been collected or summarized in previous activities. Okay, and then there is verification. In verification, there is critical thinking. In critical thinking, the students can present in front of their class about congratulation and simple praise. Include with the students and teacher discuss together about the simple congratulation and praise that have been made by the students and present it in front of their class. And also the last, there is generalization. In generalization, there is communication. Students are discussing to summarize about simple congratulation and praise that are interesting and praises. And also summarize, which is simple congratulation and praise that are interesting and praises. Okay, next, in closing activity, the time 1 minute. And for the closing activity, the students is asked to create the summary to know the extent of the students' understanding of the materials that are taught today. And for example, like making summary or homework. For the teacher, the first, checking student work completed immediately. Students who have completed the project correctly are entitled and given a ranking number for the project assessment. And the second, give awards to groups that have good performance and collaboration. Well, the last there is assessment, remedial, and enrichment. For assessment technique, there is affective, which is spiritual and social, based observation, journal. So here is the observation assessment that the students must have the three characters the teacher wants, based on religious, nationals, and integrity. And for cognitive is speaking, and psychomotor is there is performance. In performance, there is from this learning process, the students are able how to pronunciation the interpersonal text about congratulation and praise. And the last, the teacher have the rubric for speaking. You can see this one. Well, I think I have explained enough. If you are still confused, please ask me or you can give me advice. Thank you.